Let's be honest. Every researcher faces the same fundamental challenge, making sure your published work actually gets seen and makes the impact it deserves. Today, we're going to tackle that head on. Welcome to Scopus Research Hub. We're here to cut through the noise of academic publishing and give you clear, actionable advice to help you move forward with your research with confidence. So, you've done all the hard work, the late nights, the research, the writing, the endless revisions. Your paper is finally out there. But you know what? Publication is just the starting line. The real question is, how do you go from just being published to being cited and actually making a difference in your field? Well, that's exactly what we're going to solve today. We're about to break down 7 proven, really practical strategies that you can start using right away to boost your citations, raise your H-index, and make sure your research finds the audience it was always meant for. Okay, let's start at the very beginning, at the foundation. Because before you can even think about promoting your work, you have to make sure it's set up for success right from the get-go. This first section is all about those key decisions you make before and during the writing process. Our first strategy, and honestly, this might be the most important one, is choosing the right home for your paper. Getting into a high-impact Q1 or Q2 Scopus journal, well, it's not just about prestige, it's about visibility. Plain and simple. These journals have a huge international readership, which just explodes the number of researchers who might see and cite your work. And that brings me to a non-negotiable tip. Seriously, don't skip this. Before you even dream of hitting submit, you have to read the journal's aims and scope section. Sending a paper that doesn't fit is just a waste of everyone's time. A perfect fit means you're reaching the right people from day one. Next up, let's talk about being found. In today's digital world, your title, abstract, and keywords are basically your paper's first impression. Think about it. A title like A Study on Nanoparticles is pretty vague, right? But what about Enhanced Catalytic Activity of Gold Nanoparticles in CO Oxidation? See? Specificity grabs attention. The abstract then acts as your sales pitch, and the right keywords make sure you actually show up in searches. So the bottom line is you have to be strategic. Your title needs to scream what the paper is about. Your abstract has to highlight what's new and exciting. And for your keywords, you got to think like another researcher. What search terms would they use to find a paper just like yours? Use those. Okay, so your paper is written. It's perfect. It's been accepted. Congratulations. But guess what? The work isn't over. Now it's time to switch hats from writer to promoter. This whole section is about actively getting your work out there. Strategy number 3 is all about building your online footprint. Just think of this as a simple workflow. First, you upload your paper to places like ResearchGate and academia.edu. Then, you make sure your ORCID profile is up to date and linked. And finally, you absolutely have to make sure it's all captured on your Google Scholar profile. That last one is non-negotiable for being discovered. And here's a little insider tip that makes a huge difference. Always check the publisher's rules. But whenever you can, upload the accepted manuscript or post-print version. The final peer-reviewed text before the journal adds all its fancy formatting. This one simple move can tear down paywalls and open up your work to a massive global audience. Now that you've got your digital profiles set up, let's jump to strategy 6, which is all about actually using them. It's one thing to build a shop, it's another to actually market it, right? So get out there. Actively share your paper on LinkedIn and X. Talk about your findings at conferences. Start a real conversation around your research. And here's a pro tip for today's academic world. Let's face it, research can be dense. A visual summary, like a slick graphical abstract or a quick video, can make your main points so much easier to understand and share. It's an amazing way to cut through the noise and grab people's attention. All right, for our final section, we're zeroing in on strategies that use the power of networks, both your professional network and the web of your own published research. This is all about amplifying your impact through smart connections. So let's dive into strategy 4, collaboration. The data on this is crystal clear. Papers with more than one author get more citations. It's just a simple force multiplier. Every co-author brings their own network to the table, which instantly expands the paper's reach. And when you collaborate across different universities and countries, that's when things get really powerful. So the big takeaway here is to think outside your own lab or department. Don't be afraid to reach out. Actively look for collaborators at other institutions or even in totally different fields. It doesn't just make your research stronger, it dramatically expands who's going to see it. Now let's talk about a tricky topic, self-citation. As you can see, there's a very fine line between strategic and suspicious. On the one hand, strategically citing your own relevant work helps build a clear, cohesive story for your readers. But on the other hand, citing your own stuff too much or when it's not really relevant, well, that can look suspicious and really hurt your credibility. The golden rule here, the thing you always have to ask yourself, is it relevant? If your old paper provides an essential piece of the puzzle for your new one, then of course cite it. If it doesn't, then don't. It's all about academic integrity. And our final strategy is a real long-term power move for building your authority. Writing a big review article or a key methodological paper can have an absolutely massive effect on your citation count. Why? Because these papers become the go-to resources, the essential reading for anyone working in that area. You should really think of this as a strategic investment in your career. A single study might be interesting to a small group, but a fantastic review article can become a foundational text for a whole field, bringing in a steady flow of citations for years and years. So, as we wrap things up, I really want this one core idea to stick with you. Getting your research seen and cited is not about luck. It's the direct result of a smart, deliberate strategy that starts way before you write a single word and continues long after you've published. So here's your action plan. It's clear and simple. First, position your work in the right journal. Second, optimize it so people can find it. Third, build your digital presence and promote your work relentlessly. And finally, amplify everything by collaborating far and wide. Stay tuned. In the coming days, we'll be releasing more short videos packed with insider secrets and hidden tips on how to prepare your research for publication in Scopus Index journals.